And now let's get you a rounded perspective on this growing relationship between India and Fiji. And for this, I'm joined by Ambassador Anil Wadhwa, the former senior diplomat. Good afternoon, Ambassador Wadhwa. Now, India and Fiji not only share a very healthy diplomatic tie, but it also echoes each other's viewpoint on maritime security. Ambassador Wadhwa, you yourself represented India as the chief delegate to the meetings of the small island states and organized two major conferences related to FIPIC in India and in Fiji. How do you see this developmental progress between the two nations over the years?
So I think the relationship between India and Fiji has been quite steady. It's been growing very well over the years, except for that brief period in 1990 to 1999 when there was a political hiccup between India and Fiji. But otherwise, the strong cultural bonds and the fact that both Fiji and India see each other as defense partners and also partners in terms of agriculture in particular, has been a major bond between the two countries. We also have a multifaceted plan of action for Fiji, which India has implemented quite well over the years. In particular, during this visit, we've seen how the plan for maritime security, training and equipment cooperation in that respect has taken shape. And in the years to come, we will see a much more cooperation in that respect. And of course, in terms of the assistance that India has given Fiji, it ranges from agriculture to solar projects in particular. As also now we have seen in healthcare, because a number of Fijians used to travel to India for healthcare facilities, which will now be available locally once this super specialty multi-bed hospital comes up in Fiji itself. In terms of education also, we've seen a lot of inputs from India in the Fijian education system, including mobile libraries, the provision of grants for education, and in terms of MSMEs, and also the tertiary sector in the economy, which has also seen some grants being given by India in the past.
Also, India and Fiji signed key MOUs today, and key initiatives were also announced, as you mentioned, in medical, defense and maritime sector. And culture and climate also remained in focus. Well, this is a new phase of growing bilateral ties, depicting a better and bigger version of New India's diplomatic ties with the rest of the countries, isn't it, Ambassador Wadhwa?
Yes, I think it's a prime example of how India has reached out to the Pacific Island states, especially through the FIPIC process. The first FIPIC conference was in fact organized in Fiji, and it was then that the Prime Minister met with the Pacific Island states heads at that summit. And thereafter, of course, there have been two other editions. Indian appropriate technologies have been adopted quite enthusiastically by the Pacific Island states. In terms of climate change, India has helped a lot in terms of mitigation technologies, climate finance, as also the appropriate technologies which help these countries in terms of the appropriate technology which can help in their small and medium-sized industries. So India provides what is appropriate, and it also supports the Pacific Island states, wants Fiji to become a hub in the FIPIC context and the small island states context, and a solid partner for India going forward.
All right. Thank you so much, Ambassador Wadhwa, for joining us and bringing us a rounded perspective on the growing bilateral relationship between India and Fiji.